I like to think of myself as someone who can handle anything, but losing to the Kansas City Chiefs backup players and missing the playoffs, that would crush me. So please, Denver Broncos, don't let it happen. In this video, we're going behind enemy lines to chat with my good friend Michael Darcy, a Kansas City Chiefs expert. We'll talk about how the Broncos can avoid falling into the trap, how many Chiefs starters will actually sit this one out, and what this game means for both teams. Plus, we'll discuss if resting so many players is really a good idea for the Chiefs. All that and more is coming up. If you're new here, I'm Ben, a diehard Denver Broncos fan. It would mean a lot if you could like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Now let's bring in Michael Darcy. How's it going, Michael? I'm doing great, Ben. Who would have thought the final week of the season, week 18, would actually matter for the Broncos? Definitely not me. Yeah, same here. Honestly, I thought this game wouldn't be so critical if we just won one of the last two games. Now it feels like a trap game. What's the vibe in Kansas City? Do you think Andy Reid cares about winning this one? Well, divisional games are always important to Andy Reid. But here's the thing. It doesn't seem like the Chiefs are taking this game too seriously. They're not playing any of their starters. Chris Jones? Outside? Travis Kelce? Not playing. Mahomes? He's not even active. It's backups all the way. And remember, it took a blocked field goal for us to beat you guys the first time at Arrowhead. I'm sure you remember that well. I don't think we'll have the same level of talent on the field as the Chiefs normally would, but Carson Wentz is a solid backup. He might surprise us with a few sneaky plays and make this game closer than we expect. Do I think the Chiefs will win? Honestly, probably not. Man, it feels so good to hear that. Let's talk about something else, though. Coaches like Dan Campbell, Jim Harbaugh, and Bill Belichick have all criticized the idea of resting starters. They say it sends a bad message to the rest of the team, like, hey, we don't care if you get hurt. And in the NFL, you've only got 53 active players. You can't rest everyone, maybe 7 at most. So why does Andy Reid want to do this? Doesn't it create a bad vibe among the team? I don't think it sends a bad message at all. Like you said, this isn't college football where you can rest the entire starting lineup. Some guys will have to play. But I see it as a chance for players like Hollywood Brown, who's been dealing with a shoulder injury, to get more reps and fit better into the offense. And for someone like DeAndre Hopkins, who has personal incentives, if he gets a few catches, he earns a bonus. It's smart to rest players who need it, like Chris Jones with his calf strain. Why risk him in a meaningless Week 18 game when the Chiefs already have their playoff spot locked in? It's about being strategic, not sending a bad message. Some players have definitely earned a day off, while others might get a chance to prove themselves. For example, if someone performs well in Denver, they could take on a bigger role in the playoffs. Resting starters seems like the right call. The Chiefs have a long break ahead. They'll get next week off, then start preparing for their first playoff game. Maybe, just maybe, they'll face the Broncos if Denver can pull off a win against Buffalo. Either way, the Chiefs need this rest, and now is the perfect time to give guys like Patrick Mahomes a break. Yeah, that makes sense, but let me ask, does it worry you, even a little, when you think about how teams in the college football playoffs struggled after bye weeks? Some of those teams, even the better ones, looked rusty after 30 days off. Now the Chiefs will have had 25 days of rest by the time they play their divisional game. Depending on whether it's a Saturday or Sunday game, does that concern you at all? 5 years ago, it would have worried me a lot. In fact, it takes me back to the 2019 divisional game against the Texans. That game still haunts me, even though it turned out great. The Chiefs were down by 24 points in what felt like the blink of an eye. I remember sitting there thinking, oh no, we just lost. This game is over. Everyone was losing their minds. But then, the Chiefs came roaring back. That game showed me that this team can handle challenges even after a break. That game against Denver was wild. I thought it was over too, but the Chiefs came roaring back. That's what makes this team special. I don't think rest will be as big of an issue for them now. This team has played so many playoff games over the years that the extra wear and tear really adds up. After 2 or 3 seasons like that, the players need time to recover. Giving them a break to heal up is smart. Last year, for example, Travis Kelce didn't push for his 1,000-yard record and instead took an extra week off. In the playoffs, he came back refreshed and dominated. For players like Mahomes and Kelce, who are both dealing with injuries, Rest is more valuable than staying sharp. They've been here before. They know how to perform when it counts. All right, so it sounds like we're prepping to face Carson Wentz, or maybe even a practice squad quarterback. Do you think Andy Reid will stick to the usual offensive strategy, or will he adjust things to suit the backups? I don't think the offense will change much. They'll likely keep it simple, get the ball out quickly, and avoid risky plays. If they run the ball, it'll probably be with Carson Steele since Isaiah Pacheco has a rib injury. Maybe we'll see a bit of Kareem Hunt, but I doubt it. For passing, they'll try to move the ball downfield by getting it to the receivers as fast as possible. I expect it to look like that Pittsburgh game: quick throws, short gains, and steady movement. Of course, it won't be as smooth or efficient as it would be with Mahomes running the offense. Carson Wentz is fighting for his future in the NFL. With Andy Reid coaching him and having had 10 days to prepare, the Chiefs will give Wentz every chance to shine. He'll be ready to face the Broncos' defense, and they'll be playing to win. How tired would you say the Broncos are at this point in the season? Honestly, we've been lucky. We had the latest possible bye in Week 14, followed by a Thursday night game, which gave us extra rest before the Bengals. Now we've had another extended break. Not as long as yours, but enough to keep us in good shape. What's crazy is that we have no one on our injury report. Meanwhile, your injury list looks like Santa's naughty list. It's bad. Yeah, it's rough. Mahomes, Trent McDuffie, and some other key players are all on the injury report. Even though not all of them, like Kelsey, will play this week, it's still a long list. Without McDuffie, Chris Jones, Travis Kelsey, Isaiah Pacheco, or Mahomes, you're basically missing your top 3 defenders and your best 3 offensive players. Let's make a deal. Let us into the playoffs, and we'll let Carson Wentz have a monster game so you can trade him to the Raiders. It's a win-win. That'd be amazing. The Raiders would get Wentz, and he'd probably go back to being inconsistent. But on a serious note, I'm one of the fans rooting for the Broncos to make the playoffs. I'd love to see you guys get in. Some fans would rather see the Chiefs face the Broncos in the second round of the playoffs than go up against the Bengals. And honestly, I get it. It's not about being scared of the Bengals. It's about finding the easiest path to the Super Bowl. Historically, the Chiefs match up better against Denver than Cincinnati. I'm not saying the Broncos would be easy, but let's face it. The Bengals are playing incredible football right now, and they're a tough team to beat. I think you'd light them up offensively, but yeah, I've doubted the Chiefs all year on the AFC West roundtable. Now, it feels like the three-peat is inevitable. Still, I'm hoping we give you a real challenge if we meet in the second round. And this time, we're not letting you block a kick. Beating the Chiefs twice in 3 weeks would be tough for Sean Payton. That's definitely an advantage for you guys if we do meet again. It'd be a strange situation, though, if we beat Buffalo and then play you right after. Yeah, it'd be weird. And if you guys win on Sunday, it's probably because we didn't show our full game plan. We'd save our best plays for the playoffs. But if we do meet again, you'd already have used your entire playbook while we've been holding back. That could give us an edge, but who knows? All right, final score prediction. I was just about to say I expect the game to be close. Divisional games are always close, no matter who's on the field. Last season, we beat the Chargers with backups, but that was a different team. This Broncos team is fighting to make the playoffs for the first time since 2015. Would you say this is the most important Broncos game in the last decade? Oh, 100%. Every game these past few weeks has felt huge, but this one is like a playoff game for us. It's definitely the biggest since 2015. Wow, the last time the Broncos won a playoff game, I was 12 years old. Man, you're making me feel old. It has been a while, back when my Kansas City Royals won the World Series. That's how long it's been. But I think this game will be close and maybe even a little ugly. I feel like Denver will win, though. My guess is 24-17 Broncos. I don't think Carson Wentz will play the whole game. They'll probably rotate in Chris Oladokun, our third-string guy. But if Wentz stays in the whole time, an upset wouldn't shock me. Interesting take. I'm calling it 31-13 Broncos. I think we'll need to get ahead early because if it's a close game, that's where you guys can be dangerous. Still, I believe we'll pull it off, get into the playoffs, and face you again in Week 2. Do you like our chances against Buffalo? Honestly, Number Buffalo is probably the best team in the AFC after the Chiefs, and you've got to play at their place, which makes it even tougher. I think you could beat Baltimore. Playoff Josh Allen and playoff Lamar Jackson are completely different players. Good point. We'll find out soon enough. All right. Before we wrap this up, plug your channel so everyone knows where to find you. Sure thing. You can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. It's the go-to spot for all the stuff I do. Also, don't forget to check out the AFC West Roundtable. Ben and I talk about everything related to the AFC West every week, whether it's the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, or Raiders. We've had a blast teasing the Raiders guy, Graf. We love him, but man, we can't stand his team. And it's mutual. He can't stand ours either. Totally agree. One thing we can all unite on: the Denver Broncos will beat the Chiefs, make the playoffs, and face the Buffalo Bills. I can't wait to break it all down with you again. Same here. Oh, and before we go, a quick shout out to Mike Carolini. He's starting a new show on YouTube called Mic'd Up, where Broncos media personalities will debate and battle it out. It sounds wild, and I'm hoping I get invited. He's already doing these cool rankings on Twitter, like the best Twitter accounts, podcasts, and YouTube channels for Broncos fans. Thanks to all of you, Sports Talk Denver is ranked number 3 on his list. I'm humbled, excited, and so lucky to be doing this, especially in a year where we're making the playoffs. It's something we can all believe in.